Hey, good morning, my friends. Hey, welcome to beautiful Surfside, California this Monday morning. It looks like it's going to rain. In fact, it was very drizzly yesterday out at San Clemente Island and other areas. It's just not like it's summertime quite yet, but that's the season that we have. And man, I'll tell you, things are really heating up out there on the water. May not be warm in terms of the climate, but man, oh man, some conking going on south of the border down there at Bluefin sport fishing. Our good friend Victor telling us that the fish are close, the bluefin that is, and they are biting. San Diego-based boats last night, man, their night fishing on bluefin last night was phenomenal. Several boats in on it, most boats in on it, lots of 50 to 150-pound bluefin tuna, some bigger than that. We had a couple of 60-plus pound yellowtail taking on the long-range vessel XL. Pat Whitaker, bait operator, says he hasn't seen anchovy as many as he's seen and as beautiful a bait as he's seen around the LA Orange County area for 20 years. And we've got a lot more, including limits of white sea bass up there on the Endeavor. We'll have the San Clemente Island, but you know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, that coffee is so good, and I'm going to keep it right here with me. I continue to fight that cold, but kind of getting over it. One of these days, I'll feel like heading back to the gym and working out because, man, I do not like feeling like this. But hey, let's get into it. And I've got to tell you right now, first of all, there is some tremendous night fishing that went on last night. Several boats that I talked to had limits of bluefin tuna. Guys were just thumping them on those 300-gram SK lures by Daiwa, rip rollers. All the lures seem to be working really, really well. 300 grams to 420 grams, depending on wind and current and how deep you're fishing. You're going to switch that up, so make sure you bring that variety. That will help you an awful lot. But some tremendous fishing last night, and it just does not seem to want to get any better than it is right now. Now, let me just jump you across the border for one moment and talk about Victor and Blackfin sport fishing. They have been all over the fishing. We have seen outstanding fishing. Alberto Flores was down there recently, and he had a dream trip catching nice bluefin tuna. And they've got that mix in terms of the size of fish. They're going to catch some 20-pounders. They're going to catch some fish up over 150 pounds. So 2-speed reels, if you have them, you definitely want to bring that along with you to get the job done. And I highly recommend fishing with those guys out of Ensenada. They do a phenomenal job, not only when you're out on the water, but when you come back and they prepare your fish for you and provide you with a sashimi. Really great celebration. It's really Baja hospitality, and it is a lot of fun. Now, taking a look at those guys in San Diego, there has been some tremendous scores. We mentioned the XL with those two big, beautiful yellowtail band down there fishing Alijos Rocks. A lot of boys have been going down there. Last night, the Royal Star can only give it a little bit of time on that bluefin tuna. They had to get back in, but they had 11 quick fish, and most of those fish were 150-pound fish. Excellent fishing, no question about it. Recent trip on the new low end, 29 guys, 45 bluefin tuna. Producer, 18 guys, 36 bluefin tuna. Also the Pacific Voyager, 12 guys, 30 bluefin tuna on a 2-day trip. Pacific Queen, 3-day trip, 140 bluefin tuna. I do see some misses in there, but the vast majority of boys down there are getting the job done. It has been really, really excellent. And some of those full-day trips, guys that leave in the morning, come back in the evening, they're starting to get a piece of it again. Also, San Diego yesterday, 32 guys with 10 bluefin and 50-plus bonito. So that was some good fishing for them on board the Grande. They also had some good yellowtail action on the kelp patties and those yellows on the kelps. Once again, as I remind you all, those fish are mostly 5 to 10 pounds. Sometimes they get a little bit bigger than that. 25-pound fluorocarbon, www.opsonusa.com. That's going to work really well for you. A lot of guys want you to go in the water with 30 to 40 pound. If they're biting it, do it. But if they're not and they're a little more finicky, you get bit on that 25-pound. I will guarantee you that. Some really excellent fishing going on down there. Check out that catch on board the Legend. Does it get any better than that? Great going with Steve Taft there on board the Legend. That is a phenomenal photo. You have got to love that. So once again, have that 25 to 40-pound outfit to fly line with. Have that 60 to 80-pound to sinker fish with. Have that 2-speed reel with 100 to 130-pound. You are going to need it right now because it is biting. Last night was really a great night to be had. Excellent fishing going on. All right, let me just make reference to the fact that we have rockfish up and down our coast biting pretty darn well. Local boats, when they're not able to connect on surface fish in the LA Orange County area and other areas, are fishing sculpin and rockfish. There is plenty of those little devils in this cold water year. So for the most part, if you get out, you're going to have some great table fare. And I'll get into a little signal more on the Barracuda. We've been getting that signal. Pat Whitaker, who runs the Manana bait boat, is down here, and Pat said, I didn't see any Barracuda, but I've never seen this chovy. Well, I've seen it, but it's been 20 years is what Pat said. It has been 20 years since Pat Whitaker saw the size of it. I said, like Morro Bay size anchovy, and guys that have been around for a long time know that when you used to go up to Morro and fish albacore, they had those giant, big, healthy chovies, and that's what Pat said he had. And he said there's a lot of it around, so that is interesting. It does indicate a change in our oceanography. We'll see what that brings us. You know, of course, I'm referencing albacore, still on hold on that, still very early for that. We'll see what happens and see if that does develop. On the Spirit of Adventure, TJ Travante Johnson, great guy. I mentioned that he caught that big bluefin yesterday, but I had to put his trademark up. When he gets a big fish, he always smokes a cigar. We toast you, Travante. TJ, great job, my friend. All my very best to you. San Clemente Island, some boys got them, some boys struggled. It was that kind of a bite yesterday. Thunderbird right on top with 54 yellowtail. Tremendous fishing for the Thunderbird. We had special updates going on here. Incidentally, at the end of the report, I'm going to run some shorts that we put up recently, and some of those are the special updates you'll get throughout the day in short form here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. We keep you in touch with little 30-second snippets that get you in touch with all that is going on, and we keep them good and short for you so you can get in and get out and find out exactly what's biting and where it is biting. So great day on the Thunderbird. There's some ironfish at San Clemente Island. Sometimes it's yo-yo, sometimes it's surface iron. Remember, guys, if you're new to the game, yo-yo iron is a smaller, heavier jig that you sink deep and wind on fast, and surface jig, as the name suggests, you retrieve across the surface, and that's really fun because you get to see some of those yellows blow out on your jig. Tornado yesterday, 4 yellowtail. Our dear friend KJ was on there. He had one of those yellowtail. He said 3 of their fish on the Tornado were on the iron. 1 28-pounder, the biggest one on board, was on a fly line sardine. That went to Mike Palheggi. Congratulations, Mike. KJ, thanks for sending some great photos for your great day on board the Tornado. He said it was dreary and windy and kind of drizzly and just didn't feel like a summertime day. In fact, KJ had to take a garbage bag and make it into a raincoat, which we used to do all the time when we caught in the rain. So once again, great report from KJ. Also over there, several other boats with a handful of yellowtail. Excuse me 1 minute. Oh, all right. I think that might get me through the rest of the report. On the Amigo, that's David and his son John. John with a yellowtail. Good to see that. Always good to see father and son doing their thing. And Chef Jason, of course, had his little fingers in that. He was helping out quite a bit on deck besides preparing culinary masterpieces in the galley of the Amigo. Good stuff there. All right, up there in the Channel Islands on a recent trip, well, in fact, their last trip, Richard Davis and his group were on board the Endeavor, and you cannot beat the Endeavor out of Ventura Harbor sport fishing. The food, the crew, the fishing, all of it is always so good. That limits of white sea bass, another huge day. Now, the trip prior to that, we mentioned that Eddie Berrigan was out, and Eddie is such a great guy. His daughter, Isabella. Good morning, Isabella. Hope you're doing well in school, and I hope you get out there and do it again really, really soon. It was one of Eddie B's 805 charters, and they had excellent fishing with lings and sea bass and halibut. Copious amounts of rockfish. A really great trip. So they are going full crank up there on the Endeavor right now. Oh, my God. And also, up there in that neck of the woods. The Aloha Spirit, 8 halibut, 6 white sea bass, and several other boats with a little sprinkling. Weather has been up, but it's going to come down now, and hopefully that will spell some even better fishing than we've been experiencing up there. All right, my friends, so another great day in sport fishing, and it's only going to get better because the water's continuing to warm. We've been in this cold water here. It's very cool, and the difference in oceanography is producing different results. That bluefin seems to be on the bite now, however. It is biting around. Don't forget, the Apollo and the Freedom had big days on the bluefin tuna. There are LA Orange County based bluefin tuna right now. You can get a piece of that. Guys are going to be looking at it. Hopefully the Freedom, he's going to be looking at it tonight, will be calling me at midnight saying, it's wide open. It's really great fishing. So we'll be checking on that. All right, stay tuned. There's some shorts that are going to run. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's content. Share these videos with a friend. We really appreciate that. All right, I think I've made it. I can't thank you enough. It's always great spending time with you, starting my mornings off, and I hope to see you really, really soon. Hey everybody, Phil Friedman here from Friedman Adventures. Great fishing going on off of Ensenada. The pongeros down there are all over the BFD, and they're nice and close. You're looking at some catches made by Blackfin Sport Fishing. They're located out there on Punta Banda, and if you're headed their way, make sure you're bringing a variety of tackle, including some heavy stuff, as there are some big bluefin tuna lurking around. Great fishing for the pongeros down there south of the border near Ensenada. Hope you can get down there and enjoy it. Hey everybody, Philip here from Friedman Adventures. Despite some windy weather in the Channel Islands, the Endeavor pulled it off for another Eddie B's 805 charters. Great fishing for sea bass and halibut and lingcod and so many other species. It was another great one on board the Endeavor. My hat's off to Eddie B's charters and Tucker McCombs on the Endeavor. Nobody does it like Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing. Hey everybody, Phil Friedman here from Friedman Adventures with a late morning update from San Clemente Island. The yellows are biting there again for the Thunderbird. They just finished up a 2-day trip with 72 yellowtail. Today, they're pushing 40 yellowtail and seeing a lot of fish around the boat. Of course, we've also informed you that there is some big bluefin tuna nearby biting at night, really coming together. We'll keep you in touch with the latest. Thunderbird pushing 40 yellows and still fishing. This bluefin tuna fishing on big fish for LA Orange County based landings. The Freedom last night had 24 bluefin to 120 pounds. You are looking at the deck of the Apollo. They had 34 bluefin tuna to 230 pounds. The Freedom is back in. The Apollo is coming in early. They have so much fish on board. Great nighttime fishing on the jigs, and it's available now to LA Orange County base landings. Freedom Apollo with huge trip. Let's take a look at the deck of the Royal Star from last night. What great fishing they had. Excellent fishing at night. Several boats were in on it, and there is a variety in terms of the size of fish from 60 to 200 pounds, so you need to tackle up. Great night fishing on several boats last night, and you'll get more details on the morning briefing every single morning with Friedman Adventures. Take care, my friends. Get ready for another big day. This is Philip from Friedman Adventures. How about we go down to Point Loma Sport Fishing and watch the Independence as they unload some of their bigger bluefin from their most recent 8-day trip. Bluefin tuna fishing's been a little bit hit and miss, but man, the quality has been beautiful. Nice big fish on the Independence. Good morning, my friends. This is Philip from Friedman Adventures with a special update. The Thunderbird out of Davies Lock in Newport Beach continues their assault on yellowtail. Day 2, they're up to over 40 yellowtail. Yesterday, they had a bite on really big fish, biting the yo-yo iron and squid. I mean, fat, big, hard-fighting yellowtail. Today, they've got fish splashing all around them at San Clemente Island. Smaller grade, but still some great fishing. We'll keep you in touch with the latest. It's Philip from Friedman Adventures. Have a great everybody, weekend. Philip here from Friedman Adventures. We have some news for you as you're looking at what went on in the Pegasus last night. Tremendous nighttime fishing. The Polaris Supreme is on their 3rd day of a 3-day trip, and they are reporting 135 bluefin tuna in the 40 to 80-pound class. Elsewhere, at San Clemente Island, the Thunderbird out of Davies Lock in Newport Beach is now up to 20-plus yellowtail. Good signal on the yellowtail out there as you're watching footage from the Amigo. Things are looking up. It's going to be a great weekend.
Hey there, Phil. checking in. Oh, we've been talking about it. It happened. What happened, boys? We get some tonight or what? Yeah! Woo! It happened, Phil. They dropped their guard. We got a couple on deck tonight.
Hey.
Look at that. We get them tonight, boys. What happened? Come on now.
Woohoo! You already know.
We got
Time Whammo zone, baby.
We got some work ahead of us here. We'll check in with you later.
Catalina Island continues to show very good signs on white sea bass. And here at Friedman Adventures, we love the moon phase we're going into, combined with some really nice weather. Here you're looking at photos from the Pursuit out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. They go every single morning. Look for some really good scores here in the coming days. Nice weather, great moon phase, and the fish are biting. We told you all that squid would pay off, and it is starting to do just that.